with Duncan and Jane, who are two of my students, and we're going to do just over 30 minutes morning yoga flow, so kind of wake me up flow. You can also do it in the afternoon, and you don't need any props apart from your mat, or if you're at home, you can just do it on the carpet. So we'll get started. We're going to lie down, have a big long stretch. Reach your fingers all the way behind you. Stretch out your toes, flex and extend the feet. And then draw the fingers into the palms and flick them out like starbursts. Start to take hold of your elbows with your hands. If it feels comfortable, you can release them all the way back to rest on the ground behind you. Breathe in, let the ribcage expand, and breathe out. Next, exhale, we're going to take a big sigh. So breathe in, and sigh out your mouth. And then change the grip of the hands and the elbows just to balance things out. Again, big inhale, and exhale, side out. Good job. And then start to hug your knees in towards your chest, one at a time. Hug them in nice and close, and rock yourself gently from left to right on your spine. Just waking up either side of your central nervous system. And from here, we're going to take our hands down onto the ground, either side of our hips, and begin to extend your toes towards the ceiling. Back of the head stays on the floor, so you can relax down through the shoulders. So even just holding this pose, you're working your hip flexors and you're lengthening through the back of the hamstrings. Start to bend your knees and bring the tip toes towards the ground. And then lift your legs up again. And we're just going to keep working with the legs, bending and lowering them. Back of the head on the ground, shoulders resting down, palms on the earth. And as you lift and lower your legs, going at your own speed, see if you can start to engage your abdominal wall. Thinking of the structure of your abdominal muscles, the superficial rectus abdominis, the six pack, and then the deeper layers of muscles. And just lifting and lowering the legs, you should begin to get that engagement. So we're going to try and engage with the core before we start to move into sun salutations. And then from here, we're going to take the feet all the way down towards the ground, lift up the head and shoulders slightly, and start to reach towards the right heel with the right finger, and the left heel with the left finger. So you're going from side to side. And this is going to get into your side waist, into the obliques. So you can go as fast or as slow as you want, but just make sure you've got that shortening action each time you bend to the side. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Release down. Stay where you are, and we're going to focus on engaging the TVA, the transverse abs, deep inside. It's really quite simple. The way you do this is you take a big breath in and you let your rib cage expand, your lungs inflate, and as you exhale, you imagine you're shrinking your rib cage down, shrink wrapping it, drawing the ribs together. Keep going. So when you inhale, you let yourself expand and feel free, belly inflates. And as you exhale, you're pulling down everything in towards the center and down towards the spine. One more time. Inhale, let it flow out and expand. And exhale, pull it, squeeze it in, feel the deeper layer of muscles under the ribs contracting. Good job. From here, we're going to start to take yogi bicycles. So you're lifting your head, interlacing your fingers behind the back of your head, and your toes are going to point towards each other. And then draw your left knee in towards the center as you twist to take the elbow towards the knee, and then swap sides. And start to go a little faster. Keep the elbows nice and wide, so you're twisting and your shoulder blades are lifting off the ground. If your tummy feels like it's pushing out, try to pull it back in. And we're going to go faster for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, take a big long stretch, and start to draw your knees into your heart. Either stay here or you can take happy baby, extending the soles of the feet towards your ceiling at home, separating the knees nice and wide if it feels good, and holding the edges of the feet. Doesn't matter if your arms are inside or outside your legs or what your grip is like. All you're trying to do is gain a bit more suppleness in the hips. So you're asking for quite open hips here. Maybe you rock from side to side if it feels good. See if you can relax the sides of the neck. And then start to hug the knees in nice and tight. Rock and roll forward and backwards, if that's okay for your spine. Hopefully you're on a nice soft surface at home. So you're rocking forwards and backwards, keeping the spine nice and rounded. And next time you rock up, we're going to come to balance in boat pose. So the toes are pointing forward. Draw the knees in towards your heart. Let your palms face upwards to relax your shoulders and take your hands a bit wider. Keep the spine nice and straight. Upper abs are engaged. Breathe in, grow tall. Breathe out, balance. Inhale two, try and smile. Exhale, hold it here. Inhale, sit a little straighter, draw the knees a little more. Good, and then take your hands to your heart. If it's too much, take your toes to the ground, or start to take a twist. Gently from side to side. And then maybe you can even touch the elbow to the ground, either side, without falling over. It's hard work. Really squeezing that side waist using the obliques. Lovely. And then from here we can cross our legs and take our hands into our knees. So if sitting cross-legged in Sukhasana doesn't work for you, take any position that does. Start to roll your heart around in a circle above the triangle your legs have created. And then change the direction of your heart circles. Check in with your breath. Big inhale. And exhale. And then start to take cat-cow while seated. So you round your spine, you let your elbows come out towards the sides. And then you start to draw your heart forward, arch your lower back, look up. Perfect. Exhale, round the spine, lovely. Inhale for two, draw the shoulders away from the ears, lift the heart. Exhale, curl the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale, up high on the seat bones, lifting up through the heart. Good job. From here, we're going to take a twist. So inhale, arms come up high. As you exhale, your right hand finds your left knee. That's a good test of lateral right. That's it, perfect. So you're going to twist in the opposite direction. The arm that's lifted comes all the way behind your back. Good. And then you're going to look forward again. Inhale, straighten the spine. And as you exhale, use the left shoulder to gently pull you back in space. Breathe in for two, and it's hard to breathe deeply on a twist. Breathe out. Inhale, three. Imagine there's a thread drawing up through the top of your head. And exhale, rotate through the back of your heart space. Good job. And then start to take your right hand out to the side. So you're going to look forward, take the hand here, and then reach up and over with the left arm. So you're taking a big side stretch. Breathe in through the exposed ribs, and breathe out, maybe peek up past your armpit. Inhale again. Exhale. Inhale, three. Exhale, slowly release back to neutral. Start to lift your legs without using your hands and wiggle your feet all around your ankles. We're going to change the cross of the legs so it doesn't become too uncomfortable the way you were sitting. So different cross of the legs. Inhale, sweep the arms up high. Exhale, left hand comes to right knee and your other hand comes close behind you. Look forward, breathe in. As you exhale, gently take the rotation towards the other side. Inhale for two. And exhale, twist. Inhale, sitting tall. And exhale, rotating around the axis of your spine. And then coming back to neutral, taking the left hand to the ground, sweeping the right arm all the way up and over. So you're taking a big open side stretch. So see if you can really focus on getting into the intercostal muscles in between the ribs, stretching them open. Breathe in for three, looking up under your armpit. And breathe out, gently release. Take your hands in front of you, so you're going to stop someone. Roll over your knees, or if that doesn't work for you, maybe neither of you guys like that option, or you can do it, go for it. You can come into quadruped, any way that feels good for you. So quadruped, you're on your hands and knees. Start to rotate your hips around your knees. So you're imagining that your knees are the set point of the compass, and your hips are the pencil that's drawing a big circle all the way around the knees. So you're getting into the sides, into the glute medius as you come out. You're rocking back and forward slightly. And find the breath again when you're in this position, supported on the hands and knees. Breathing deeply through the nose if you can, keeping the mouth closed. Change the direction of your circles. Good job. And then from here, start to come back to neutral. Turn your fingers to face out towards the sides and take a little rock from left to right. So you're just warming up the wrists, putting a little bit of weight in them. And if it feels good, you can start to turn your middle fingers towards your kneecaps. So see what happens with your wrist. Go as far as feels comfortable for you, don't force anything. And then you can take it into a forearm stretch by rocking back slightly, maybe lifting the base of the palms up. And then when you come forward, you're taking the shoulders past the wrists. Keep the fingers spread nice and wide. Great job. And then start to flip the hands forward. We're going to tuck the toes and hover the knees. And this is where you get the TVA engaged again. You get the muscles underneath your ribs, that deeper core working. So see if you can lengthen your spine, shoot your tailbone behind you, look just in front of your first fingers, drop your knees a little more. You're doing really well, just one more breath. Pull in the area between your hip bones and your lower ribs. Great, and then drop your knees all the way to the ground. Walk your hands in front of you so they come forward in front of your shoulders, and then drop your hips forward. We're going to take tricep dips. Getting quite close there. So with the elbows bent, squeezing into the sides, start to lower yourself down. So lift your ankles and squeeze them together, and then lower yourself down and press yourself up. What you're trying to do is load the tricep rather than the rotator cuff. So squeeze the elbows in a bit more, Duncan. Good job, Jane. Try and, that's it, pull up through the lower ab area and only come down halfway. Maybe take the hands a little further forward. See how that feels. You don't want to put too much pressure on your wrist, I know. Stay strong. 2 more. Keep looking forward, long neck. Lovely. And then come all the way down to the mat. We're going to work on a bit of back strengthening here. So hands hover underneath your shoulders. As you inhale, hovering floating cobra. So lift the hands. You can lift the legs if you feel like it releases your back. So some people find it gets a bit tight up around here. So if that helps you to lift the legs, lift them. What we're really focusing on here is squeezing the elbows in, drawing the shoulder blades down the spine, and seeing if you can contract the muscles either side of the lumbar region. If you've got any lower back problems, this really helps build strength, but take it easy. Don't cause yourself any pain, just go to the edge where you feel challenged. Take a breath in, lift the heart higher, good. And then exhale, release hands down towards the ground. Press all the way back into a child's pose. So knees come nice and wide, big toes touch. You can shimmy your hips to get a bit further down into it if it feels good. And when your forehead comes to the ground, roll gently on the top of your forehead from side to side. If your forehead isn't reaching the ground, use a blanket or something underneath. You don't want to be hanging in space. Your muscles will then tense up. If you can, you relax your elbows down to the ground so you soften them too. Good. And then as you breathe in, you start to roll slowly up, come to sit on your heels. Release your right arm all the way behind you. Let the elbow bend so you can take your weight. Lift up, maybe you lift the pelvis as well to get a good stretch through the front of your thighs, your quadriceps. Release your seat back down, swap arms, so your left hand comes behind you. You lift up high with the hips. Breathe in, looking up, and breathe out, release back down. Take the hands in front of you, tuck the toes. We're going to find that little hovering position in quadruped again. So we're engaging the muscles. Think about your rib cage and imagine it hugging in. Good, nice long spine, shooting the tailbone off behind you. One more breath. And then with relief, you can lift your hips up and back to a downward facing dog. Straight away start to pedal it out. If you're doing this in the morning, you're probably going to feel quite tight in the backs of your legs and your hamstrings, maybe your calves. So let your hips shift from side to side as you bend one knee and lift the other heel. Give your head and neck a gentle shake all around to release the trapezius muscle from your earlobe down to the tops of your shoulders. And then start to walk your hands towards your feet. So you're coming to the back of your mat in a forward fold. Let your feet come nice and wide, wider than your hips. Take hold of your elbows, bend your knees, find yourself in a ragdoll pose. So you can sway from side to side if that feels good for you, or you can hold the pose. You're trying to lengthen through the spine Making sure the back of the neck is long and you're looking between your legs. Your knees are slightly bent to relieve your lower back. If you want to, and this is good in the comfort of your own home, you can flub your lips to sound like a horse. That's great. So if you can do that, it means your jawbone is nice and relaxed. And then let your hands come towards the ground. Slowly we're going to roll up, so push into the soles of your feet. Engage the front of the body. Keep your chin tucked, your arms dangling, as you slowly roll all the way up towards a standing position. And when you get to the top of your mat, roll your shoulders up, back and down 3 times. Good job. And then take a little walk towards the front of your mat. We're going to do a sun salutation. So inhale, start to sweep the hands up and high, Urdhva Hastasana, and knit the ribs together. Exhale, take the arms wide and swan dive all the way down towards forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, so hands and shins flat back, look forward. Exhale, take the hands to the ground, step the right foot back, step the left foot back, find yourself in a plank. Lower down to your knees. Keep your hips high as you send your heart between your hands, squeezing your elbows in, so tailbone stage rising up. And then slide all the way onto your tummy. We're going to come into Sphinx pose. So come up on your forearms, your elbows are underneath your shoulders, so bring them forward a bit, lovely. Your fingers are spread nice and wide, and your hands are as wide apart as your elbows are. Lovely. And then imagine you're pulling back with the forearms, but lifting up and forward with your chest. Good job. Breathe in for 2. Breathe out. Inhale, engaging the space between the shoulder blades of the thoracic spine. Exhale. And then inhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, come into a forearm plank. So stay down on your forearms. Yeah, this is the challenge. And then lift your hips, you're in a forearm plank. Good job. Breathe in, draw in the belly, breathe out. As you inhale, start to lift the hips and walk your toes in. So you come into a downward dog on your forearms. And this is harder than a normal downward dog. So walk the feet in more. Good. Keep the head off the mat. Keep pressing into the forearms. Engage the serratus anterior, the muscles drawing the shoulder blades towards the ribs. So you're activating all the muscles in the back of the body. It's hard for us. One more breath here. Good job. And then you can lift up either simultaneously or one hand at a time into your downward dog. Lovely. Pedaling your dog out a bit, shaking your head and neck. Inhale, let the right leg fly high to the sky, as high as feels good. And then bend the knee and take it towards the right elbow. So right knee to right elbow, try and touch it. Good job. Inhale, take the leg up and high. Exhale, take it through and try and touch the other elbow this time. So you're twisting it up underneath you. Don't worry if you can't do it, just give it a go. Inhale, leg comes up high. And exhale, bend the knee to the heart and step the foot through between the hands, or give it a little help. So for most of us, we're going to need to take the hand to the calf and wiggle that foot forward. Come up on the fingertips, lift the back knee, keep the back toes curled and start to rock backwards and forwards. Good. So you can see they're in quite different positions here. Jane's hips are higher, Duncan's hips are lower. It doesn't matter what you look like. What matters is how it feels in your body. So it should feel good. You're letting the knee come past the toe to stretch open the left hip flexor. Good. And then from here, we're going to feel strong. Place our hands down on the floor. Step the right foot all the way back, so we're in plank position. Lower down halfway, and then roll off your toes. Inhale, upward dog. Don't worry, you're not going to hit heads. Good. And then exhale, press back down, we're facing dog. So if you can, you're releasing your toes out from underneath you when you're in an upward dog to relieve your lower back. From your downward dog, breathe in through your nose. Option to breathe out through your mouth if you're feeling a bit hot. And then inhale, start to lift the left leg high to the sky, 3-legged dog. Let it rise up as feels best. And then take the knee towards the left elbow, hug it in, use the abs. Inhale, send the leg up and high. Exhale, find your other elbow, so taking that twist, lovely. Inhale, shoot the leg up. Exhale, you know it's coming, hug the knee in nice and tight. Come up onto the tiptoes of the right foot and step the left foot all the way through between your hands. Good job. Come up on your fingertips, rock forward and backwards. And See how it feels on this side. See what your hips are doing. Keep extending through the back heel. Take a deep breath in and out. Place the palms on the floor, hug the abs in, and step the front foot back to your own plank. Lower down halfway or come to your knees. Inhale, upward facing dog. See if you can flip your feet. Lovely. Press into the backs of the feet. And exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Savasana. You can take any movement you want, or you can hold stillness. Breathe in for 1. Breathe out. Fingers spread wide. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bend the knees a little, shoot the tailbone higher. Inhale for 3. Exhale. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, hop, step, or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, bend the knees deeply. Sweep the arms all the way out to the side. Rise up. Utkatasana. Exhale, lower the hands to the heart. We're going to take a little balance and turn it into a twist if that feels good. So spread the toes of your left foot nice and wide and lift the right knee and hug it in nice and tight. Good, you're getting warm. It's working. Warming ourselves up. So you can stay here, maybe take a little rotation of the foot around the ankle if that feels good. Or if you want to turn it into a twist and challenge yourself a little bit more, start to release your right arm all the way behind you, hugging the navel in as you do so. If you're feeling daring, you can take your gaze towards your back thumb. See if you can relax the shoulder, keep pulling the navel in, breathe in, and then breathe out. We can always give it a go on the other side. Lovely. From here, we're going to take our hands to our hips. You're still with the right leg. And extend the right leg. See if you can lift it higher than each other. Good. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Start to bend the knee. Take the right hand to the inside of the foot. We're going to find dancer pose. Your left arm comes out in front of you and you kick the foot into the hand. So don't worry if your balance fails you and you fall over. It doesn't matter. You're just trying to get that feeling of the front half of your body leaning forward and the back leg kicking up to balance yourself. And then release down. So shake it all out, and the good news is we're going to give it a go on the other side. Right. So, yeah, exactly. So spread the toes of the left foot nice and wide, and then spread the toes of the right foot nice and wide, and start to lift the left leg. Hug it in nice and tight. Maybe stay here. You can circle the foot around the ankle if that feels good. Working on the balance, every little wobble is good. It's encouraging pelvic stability, working hard. Squeeze the glute of the standing leg. Option, if you like a challenge, is to release your left arm all the way behind you. And maybe your gaze follows your fingers. Try to relax the shoulders, keep the hips level, little bend in the standing leg. Release the arm back and forward. Good job, Duncan. Hands to the hips. Extend the leg. Good. Reach up high, squeeze the quadricep to lift. Try not to lean back. Breathe in, good. And then breathe out, bend the knee, catch hold of the foot. Really great on this side. And release the other arm in front of you just to counteract. So you're trying to keep the hips square towards each other as you kick the back foot into the hand. And it doesn't matter if you fall out, it's great. Even if you get up for a second, you can build on that. And then release and shake it all out. Inhale, sweep up high over Hastasana. Exhale, pull the navel in, hinge at the hips, flow all the way down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground, step back into your plank, and we're going to lower down to the ground on a count of 3. Lower down for 2, squeeze the elbows in, come for 1, almost there, and then all the way to your tummy. Good job. As you inhale, hover the hands, lift the head and chest, hovering cobra. You can lift the legs as well, and if you want to take it the next stage further, take the arms out to the side like goalposts, and then lift the legs and bend the knees a bit more. So take the legs out to the sides a bit and bend the knees. Good. So what you're really trying to feel, that's it, Jane, you're really trying to imagine this mat is hot lava, and it's really hot underneath you, so you're lifting up away from it like steam. Brilliant. Inhale, engage the back of the body, the hamstrings, the glutes, lift up higher, And then exhale, release down. Take the hands underneath the shoulders. Good job. Lift all the way up into plank, squeezing the elbows in nice and tight. Hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Good. Step the feet together. Inhale, lift the right leg high to the sky. And then open up through the hips. So bend the top leg and point the toes. So you're really arcing and pointing over like a scorpion sting with this top leg. Maybe look underneath your left armpit, see if you can see your toes, give them a wiggle. And then from here, take the knee towards your right elbow. So you're coming into a plank with the knee touching the right elbow. Maybe you slide it down the forearm to the ground, and then swing, without using your hands, your ankle towards your left wrist. So you're trying to bring this front shin towards the front edge of your mat. Come up on your hands, walking back towards your hips. You can take a little rock from side to side. And then wiggle your back toe as far behind you as you can. Inhale, look up, open your heart. And exhale, come down onto your elbows, onto your forearms. So maybe you stay here. Seeing if you can feel your hips leveling out. Maybe that's a deeply intense stretch down the outside of your right hip. Maybe you want to go a bit further. Maybe this is an easy pose for you at home. You can take your arms out in front of you and relax a bit more. So if you take the elbows a bit further forward to lengthen the spine, good. Soften down here. Noticing when you come to your edge in pigeon. Breathing in. Breathing out. Releasing any tension in the fingers. As you inhale, start to come up onto your hands. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and sweep the right leg all the way back towards the end of the mat, so you're in plank. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Step the feet together. Breathe in, lift the left leg high, bend the knee, open the hip as much as feels good for you. So you're stretching over this top hip flexor. Maybe you look underneath your right armpit towards the toes, give them a little wiggle. Smoothly start to take the lifted knee towards your left elbow. So you're shifting the weight forward, shoulders come over wrists. Hold it there, use your strength, and then slide the forearm, slide the knee down the back of the forearm. Start to wiggle the ankle without using your hands. You don't want to torque the knee and force anything. So you just want to keep wiggling. So get the front leg as parallel as you can towards the front edge of the mat. Take the back toes as far behind you as you can. Inhale, look up, hands are either side of your hips. You can rock from side to side if it feels more comfortable. And then as you exhale, start to come down into your elbows. So stay here in your forearms for a breath or two and see how it feels, how the outside of your hip feels. The iliopsoas, you're stretching a deep muscle inside. It's quite hard to do, not many yoga poses do it. So if this feels intense, that might be why. They also say we store all our emotion in our hips. So if you're finding this challenging, try to breathe through it. On your exhale, imagine you're softening any area that's resisting. Next breath in, slowly start to lift up onto your palms, tucking your back toes, lifting your back knees, stepping back into plank, lowering all the way down slowly on 3, 2, stay looking forward, 1, onto your tummy. It's hard work, isn't it? And then start to roll onto your back so you can extend your left arm in front of you and roll onto your back, so you guys might want to watch out for hitting each other in the face. Find your way back onto your mat. Good. And we're going to come into bridge pose. So bend the knees, soles of the feet are on the ground. This is to warm up the glutes, to get them really nice and active. When you're ready, start to curl your tailbone up, lifting your pelvis up in space. What you are doing is pushing down through your feet. Bring your feet a little closer together. Good. You want the knees in line with the hip bones, so you want to switch on these inner thighs, lovely Jane, to stop the knees from falling out. And then see if you can squeeze your glutes and lift a bit higher on your inhale. And as you exhale, slowly roll the spine back down. Good job. And then option to hug your knees into your chest. Good. Or take a big long stretch, whatever feels better. And instead of Shavasana, which is realistically really hard to do at home, and you often feel like you should go and do washing up or empty the dishwasher or something like that, we're going to take a simple twist to end our practice. So begin to release your arms out to the side, nice and wide, spreading the back of the heart into the mat. Knees are bent and lifted. And then start to take both knees over towards your right hand side. So lift the feet up. That's it. And then take them all the way over. Let the knees rest on the ground. Doesn't matter if they slide apart, but try and soften down. And really feel that gentle twist through the top line of your body. Notice what's happening with your breath. You should be able to easily inflate your chest and deflate in this position with maximum exposure for your ribcage. Try and relax your feet down if you can. Good. On your next breath in, roll the back of your head onto the center of the mat, lift your knees to the ceiling, keep your arms where they are, and let the legs fall all the way over to the other side, taking your gaze away from your legs. Breathe into that lifted twist of your body, and breathe out into the underside, letting that grow heavy. It's amazing how much tension we can carry in our feet, so try to soften down through the knees, the ankles, the joints. Backs of hands softly resting out to the sides. Let the jaw release, maybe the tongue touches the roof of the mouth. And on your next inhale, taking your time, bring your knees up towards the ceiling and start to hug yourself into a little ball, rolling in small circles on your lower back or simply from side to side. And then come all the way to your left-hand side, the yang side of your body in fetal position. Taking your time, using your right hand, maybe press yourself up towards the sitting position. Take your hands in prayer and Jani Mudra. Roll your shoulders up, back and down, and then imagine someone pinning your ears up and back like Dr. Spock. So you're weighting your head properly on top of your shoulders, on top of your hips. Option to take an Om on your exhale, particularly fun at home, no one can hear you. Breathing in together. Lifting your thumbs to your third eye, the space between your eyebrows. Loka Samastha Sukhini Bhavanti. May all beings be happy and free. Taking your hands towards your heart and then towards the ground. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Duncan, for practicing with me this morning. But I hope you got into the flow of this and you enjoyed it.